I know a lot of you are too cheap to buy the DVDs, CDs, and or Blu-rays, and are too lazy to read the real guides on how to do this stuff. So here's the guide for making AMVs for those who are too lazy to read the real ones. Part 1. Getting raw materials. Obviously, the best method for getting your anime is by using torrents. You'll be able to find most shows that you need on Mattroks, and if they're done airing and aren't licensed by Funimation, you can also find them on BakaBT. Check BakaBT's Forbidden section to see if the show you're thinking of is licensed by Funimation. Do not use footage acquired from streaming sites such as YouTube, Crunchyroll, or Anime Freak. The quality is inferior to that of the footage using the methods presented here. If you need to acquire anime titles that are forbidden on that site, or you just can't use torrents due to being at college or something and need a direct download, search around on Anime Take to see what shows you can direct download. If you can't find the soft subs and raws here, or on another site, then you might just have to break down and buy the DVD. Stage 2. Be sure to check the specifications of your footage as well. Make sure you get the MKV soft subtitled version of the footage that allows you to turn the subtitles off. Nothing uglier than those unrelated fan subtitles getting in the way of your AMV. Make sure that the footage is encoded with the X264 video codec as well. The video should be at least 480p. You can't always trust the specs written down by those incompetent fan subbers, of course, so make sure that you get Media Player Classic and the combined community codec pack to check the subs for yourself. There are other guides explaining on how to check the filters and subtitles in Media Player Classic, so look at them for reference. Once you're sure of the quality, download the torrent. Grab uTorrent if you haven't already. Once you've got that out of the way, check off the episodes you need. I recommend using Wikipedia or the show's own wiki if you're not sure which episodes you need. As for audio you'll need, just use Google to find the song. It'll most likely be in a torrent with either the rest of the album that the song was originally on, or one with the band's entire discography. The audio bitrate should be more than the standard 128 kps. I recommend acquiring 328 kps version of the song when possible. The torrent itself or the comments under it should tell you the bitrate, but if you're not sure, check under the properties of the file once you have it. If you can't use torrents, there are direct downloads of the music if you know where to look. If all else fails and you can't get the CD yourself, then you can try walking around the minefield known as YouTube to get your audio. Though I don't suggest this. Make sure the video you get your audio from is at least 480p as well, and even then, that's a hit or miss with YouTube. Buy yourself some audio equipment that's more than $10 and you can tell the difference. If you do insist on doing this risky method, get yourself a tube catcher or download helper for Firefox. Those will help you on your endeavors on YouTube. So, to summarize, get torrents or direct downloads of the anime that don't have subtitles burned onto the image, and try to get high bitrate audio files. Don't use streaming sites for footage, and don't use audio extracted from 240p YouTube videos. They don't sound good or look good. Part 2. Preparing materials for editing. Stage 1. For the purposes of this guide, I'll be assuming that you're using Sony Vegas Pro 10, the best 32-bit version of Sony Vegas in my opinion. Windows Movie Maker is not an acceptable editing program. There are several plugins you can download for it, but in the end, it's not really worth it. Just torrent Vegas or get a freeware program like Wax and read one of the guides on that. Now remember that MKV you downloaded earlier? Well, in order to get any use out of it, you're gonna need MKV Extract GUI and MP4 Box GUI. Be sure to read the instructions that came with it carefully. Once done, you should open up the MKV file in MKV Extract. Press the Input button. You can now put the file wherever you want it to be, but I recommend putting it on your desktop. Once you're done with that, open that H.264 video track in MP4 Box and name it whatever you want, then mux it into an MP4 file. Provided that you follow the instructions on what kind of audio to get, you won't have to mess around with that. Summary of this section: MP4 Box and MKV Extract are your friends. Don't betray them. Part 3. Editing. I'm assuming you already have an idea here, so let's get to working on that AMV. Import your footage and then check your settings. For the purposes of this guide, I'll be assuming that you're working with SD footage, so choose 848 by 480 for widescreen or 640 by 480 for full screen. Be sure to save the project. Chop down the episode to the scenes you need, zoom in on the timeline and highlight all of the footage with Ctrl-A. Then do a quick preload with as much of the footage as you can using Shift-B and get to work. Attempt to present your idea in a legible manner and try to keep it short. Make sure your scene transitions are free of orphan frames, which are quick flashes of the shot right before the scene you're using that are unrelated to what's going on in the video. After you're confident in the video being synced as well as possible, save the project and prepare for the final step. Part 4. Exporting. Do one final check over the video with the preloading technique I mentioned earlier if you haven't already. If everything checks out and you're still using your settings from before, then you're ready for the next stage. Render the video as an uncompressed AVI file and encode the video to an MP4 file with Zarx264 GUI with the settings provided, and you're done. And I'm done. I'm done recording. I'm just gonna edit up that I'm done. You edit that for me then.
Can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell. School is in, sucker. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time.
And once you're done grabbing the torrent by the anus and groping it horribly, then you need uTorrent.